Congress and Jim Jordan are now investigating the FBI. Something happened where the Senate was investigating Hunter Biden and the Biden crime family, and they called the FBI in to testify in front of them. But did the FBI tell them the truth? Or did the FBI deviate them from their investigation and cover the whole thing up on behalf of the Bidens? Jim Jordan has questions about this guy in particular. His name is Bradley Benavides, ex-FBI counterintelligence. We're going to learn more about him and the letter that Congress sent to him. He's now in private practice. You know, they go work at the FBI, then they get big fat contracts in the private sector. But a little bit more about what happened in this story before we see what Jim Jordan is so upset about. From the Daily Caller, they give us some background on this. They tell us, Jim Jordan is demanding that a former FBI agent sit for a transcribed interview. Who is this guy? Bradley Benavides served as the section chief and deputy assistant director for the counterintelligence division. This guy briefed Republicans Chuck Grassley and Ron Johnson in August 2020. Was anything important happening in 2020 around August? Oh yeah, the election. So Senate is investigating him. They call the FBI in, and in the briefing, there were some things that went awry. Congressional Democrats accused Grassley and Johnson of being conduits for Russian disinformation. Remember this? These liars. Two senators issued reports that highlighted Hunter and Ukraine's business deals, but the Democrats were covering the whole thing up. A little bit more on this guy, Bradley Benavides. Daily Mail tells us that GOP senators who launched the Hunter Biden probe now demand the right to grill the two FBI agents who suggested that the stories were just Russian disinformation. Benavides came in and told the Senate, no, it's Putin, Russia. Ron Johnson and Chuck Grassley wanted to hear more from him. They sent a letter to him, and they have been looking into his business dealings for some time. So let's see what the letter actually says. This is from Jim Jordan, the Committee on the Judiciary, over in the House of Representatives out of the Congress of the United States. He says, all right, Senior Risk Manager, Mr. Bradley Benavides, guess where he went to work? Amazon. Wonder what he's doing over there. They say, all right, dear Mr. Benavides, the Committee on the Judiciary is continuing to investigate allegations of misconduct at the FBI. You served as the section chief and then deputy assistant director for the counterintelligence division from July 2019 until July 2022. We believe that you possess unique information vital to our oversight. And so we ask you to make yourself available to us. They say, previously on August 6th, you provided a briefing when you were at the FBI to Senators Chuck Grassley and Ron Johnson that hampered their investigation into Hunter Biden's financial connections. Sounds like this guy obstructed them. They were investigating foreign governments and questionable foreign nationals. As the senators subsequently stated in a letter to you, they said, the unnecessary FBI briefing provided the Democrats, you, and liberal media the vehicle to spread their false narrative that our work advanced Russian disinfo. Ron Johnson, Chuck Grassley say we have evidence that the Biden crime family is involved in this massive scheme. They demand the FBI agents come in and give them a briefing. FBI comes in. They say it's Russian disinformation. See, the Democrats say, see, the FBI said it. And just like the FBI created the Christopher Steele dossier, helped to manufacture that with the help of the Clinton campaign back in 2016, they're doing the very similar thing here. No, it's Russian disinformation this time, except it's true. Last time it wasn't true, they make believe it was true. This time it was true, they made believe it wasn't. So Grassley says, although you stated that the FBI didn't intend to, quote, interfere in our investigation, the practical effect of such an unnecessary briefing that was requested by the Democrats to come in here and the subsequent leaks relating to it created interference which frustrated and obstructed congressional oversight efforts. The FBI is obstructing the Senate intentionally so their candidate wins. Senator Grassley elaborated in testimony before the subcommittee. He explained the briefing was unnecessary and it was completely irrelevant to the substance of our investigation. It was only done because the Democrats wanted it done so they could try and smear us, and the FBI wrongly did their bidding. They're like, sure, we'll show up and say it's Russia, no problem. We love saying it's Russia. We have It's Russia Mondays. The allegations that the FBI arranged a briefing for two U.S. senators as a pretext to impede their investigation and then leaked that briefing to the media are deeply troubling. It's unbelievable. And then this guy leaves. I'm not going to work with the FBI anymore. Did my job. Goes, gets a nice job at Amazon. The Committee on the Judiciary has oversight. To schedule your interview, please contact us no later than as soon as possible. Sincerely, your friend, Jim Jordan, Chairman on the Judiciary Committee officially out of the House of Representatives. So Bradley Benavides has gotten a couple letters. He's now in the private sector. We'll see if he responds at all. Some reason I doubt it. But we had one final clip. We're going to jump in with China, and then he's going to segue into the Biden relationship.
You see this type of stuff, whether it's our Secretary of State, Tony Blinken, whether it's our Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen. This is just how... Remember when Blinken first met his Chinese counterpart up in Anchorage, and he lectured Blinken, yelled at him about how we were a bad country, and Blinken just sat there and took it. He didn't push back. There is no way that happens in a Trump administration. So that's the overall problem, is the weakness that, unfortunately, our current commander-in-chief projects to the entire world.
Congressman, what can you tell us about FBI Director Christopher Wray and his testimony that's coming up before your committee on Wednesday? You got the Durham report, the IRS whistleblower, and now an investigation of cocaine being found at the White House. Are we going to get any fresh revelations out of on Wednesday?
Well, meth.
Well, here's what I know. Time and time again, Chris Wray has told us everything's fine. He even testified in front of Congress a couple years ago, said you can sleep well at night knowing we have fixed the FISA process. Well, really, there are 204,000 reasons why that statement's not true, because that's the number of illegal inquiries they did to the 702 section of the FISA law, illegally scrutinize American citizens 204,000 times, according to the New York Times. So there's a host of problems. We know that the Justice Department has labeled parents as terrorists or simply going to a school board meeting. We know that the Richmond FBI field office said pro-life Catholics were radicals, they were extremists. And then, of course, there's been the retaliation against whistleblowers like Mr. Shapley from the IRS who came forward, and the DOJ kicked him off the case, or other whistleblowers have come and told us about some of these issues, what they face, like Garrett O'Boyle. So we're going to get into all those issues, and I think a host of others as well. But the main point is there is no way, Stuart, there is no way Republicans in Congress are going to be for reauthorizing FISA in its current form. And that's due at the end of this calendar year. There is no way we're going to do that. We're going to oppose that and a host of other things as well.
That is Jim Jordan, and we can see that he is staying on it. Christopher Wray is going to be testifying in front of Congress. I believe that is on Wednesday. And so we will have the highlights of that testimony on the show as Congress continues to dig into this and more. We'll continue to cover, my friends. Thank you for subscribing wherever it is you're watching this, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next one.